Still waiting for Roger van der White.
Maybe they're all here to hear my epic story.
Sure hope so. We should be online right about now, waiting for confirmation.
Well, the ad just popped up, so we should be good.
Okay, I'm seeing the screen, just checking the audio.
Yeah, I'm annoying you again on my ads. Papa needs to pay the bills, buddy.
Yeah, it's just only making me be like old man melting man. Like, oh, back in my days, we only had ads for people that are part of the YouTube partnerships, but nowadays every goddamn video has ads.
Yeah, probably because there's copyright stuff in it or something. And I'll catch on to it.
Well, no, there's like videos that are only like 3 seconds long, and they still have to play a damn ad every time.
Oh, that sucks. Even I don't stoop that low.
Yeah, the annoying part of getting a 15-second unskippable ad to watch a 2-second video.
Even better if that 2-second video is an ad in itself. Like you want to watch it, you want to watch a trailer of the new game or a new movie, and you have to watch the trailer to see the trailer.
Just remind me of that time, like a while back. It was on the news. A guy tried to use CPR on a neighbor, but he didn't know how to do it. So he went to YouTube and looked up a video of how to do it. However, he kept being interrupted by ads. In the end, the guy died. Well done. Well done.
Damn, that's dark.
Yeah, it is.
Hi there, Sylvia. Welcome on the stream. We don't hear you very often over here.
No, I'm only here just for the ads. I mean, no, I'm just joking. I'm here for a small announcement thing that Ewan wanted to us to forward.
That's right. Our friend Ewan isn't here today. He has to work. Poor buddy.
Yeah, what was us? First of all, for the people in the UK, there's still a Kickstarter going on for the Sonic the Comic Con, which will be happening in York. Don't ask me about the full details, but I will be sharing the link in the chat if you're interested to go to the Sonic the Comic convention. Just read the rules about how it works and such. Also, the second announcement is that the Wii U and the 3DS eShop is going to close on the 27th of this month. So if you still want to grab yourself some games from the eShop, you better be quick.
Yeah, so if you want if you want to play the Sonic Game Gear game, well, this is the only time you're going to do it now.
And this is the last chance for you Fire Emblem fans to get that DLC for Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh yeah, and Smash Bros. 4 before all that goes away.
That's true. That's true. Unfortunately, my 3DS is completely full, and I am too lazy to figure out how to set it on a different SD card. So I guess I'll just let it happen. Oh
wow! You even made a drawing for it.
Oh wow!
Yep. Yeah, Ewan prepared a bunch of stuff, so he still has some presence here. In fact, I think he talks more in this stream than in streams he's actually present at.
You're evil.
Well, that, and if it's just a Fleetway Sonic only thing, then he gets to have his time to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, apparently there's a Sonic Fleetway happening with a lot of the artists coming. Unfortunately, I can't attend.
Well, yeah, that is fitting, because, this year will be the 30th anniversary for Fleetway Sonic.
Oh, so we pick a good year to be talking about, even though, sadly, we don't talk about it today. No Fleetway planned for today, sorry. Having another lazy stream, because I had a bad week, plus I have a lot to prepare for April Fools, so keeping it easy today, yet again. I'm sorry.
Indeed. Also, welcome, Alex. I don't think I've seen you here before, though I think you're a friend of Luke.
Yeah, my mate Alex, I sent him a text to tell him I'm going to be telling an epic story tonight, and I've asked him to come along.
You're really proud of it, huh? Looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, I'll leave you guys up to it. I wish you good luck. If there's any trouble, you can ask me. Also, thank you, Alex I'll just say Alex. Thank you for the 99p. Huzzah! With a big smiley.
Thank you very much.
Any donations are welcome, by the way, because Roger could use a new computer. Hey.
And a new bicycle and a lot of new stuff.
Well, you already got a new bike. Anyway, cheerio.
Freddo.
Cheerio.
Sadly, it's not enough for a Freddo.
No. 99 pence is not going to get me that far. Right. So yeah, anyone else interested in Sonic the Comic Con? Well, I guess only Luke who lives in the UK from.
Well, the thing is, I'd love to go, but I think York's too far away for me to get to.
Sad, huh? Too bad they don't go for London or something. Probably too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's England. How far away could it be?
Yeah,
Well,
for
100
Americans,
miles
it's very
is very
tiny.
far.
Yeah. I mean, that always shocks me how easy you guys go for. Oh, I moved from New York to Los Angeles. It's like, to me, that's like across the other side of the world. Like, whoa, you just casually do it. It's like, oh, we just go to different schools, so we just go to a different state. We just moved on from Montana all the way to Texas, like it's nothing. Oh, well, I guess if you don't have cultural differences, it's easier to do. Well, I mean, you do have cultural differences, but not language and other money and all that stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Because the idea for us, for B or Luke, just to go live in Russia for something is, I mean, it's the same amount of distance, but it's a big cultural change. Of course, now with the whole war looming, that's even less of an interesting proposition, but whatever.
It reminds me of the saying that, like, the difference between British people and American people is that British people think 100 miles is a long way, and American people think 100 years is a long time.
Yep. Fun, all those cultural differences. Oh well. Yeah, anyone has something to say? Well, we still waste a bit of time before we officially start.
Well, I can say that I've officially moved into my new house, and I got everything set up in my new room. My rare Sonic Unleashed poster sadly got damaged in the move, but with Sylvia's encouragement, I was able to find a seller on eBay selling the magazine that the poster was in. So hopefully, the eBay's take your chances, but hopefully that works out.
Sure, I sure hope so. Cool. Yeah, a lot of moving around. Luke moved into a new apartment.
Yeah, my flat move is still underway. I haven't moved in, not for another couple of months. Still sorting out, like, apparently there's like some sort of like musky smell underneath the carpet of the living room. I think there's like some kind of damp going on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the carpenter managed to stop parts of the damp, but he seems to be detecting something from outside, so he's going to sort that out. I've also, the government is sending out like letters for people to enable to. It's basically money you can put on the your top-up meter, because I've got a top-up meter, but I'm going to try and get a smart credit meter sorted out. But it's good. It's good. The government is helping us out like this.
Guess they're good for something, at least. That's good.
Mm.
Alrighty, that's good news. Melting Man, you got something to mention about your daily life?
Let's see. The only exciting thing that's been happening to me recently is I finally got my hands on a Game Boy Micro, which is the lesser-known one, like compared to the Game Boy Advance and the SP. But yeah, I saw it at a store for $200 because obviously the thing didn't sell well, and that was I always wanted to revisit like a few episodes of my Forgotten Media series that are like over 10 years old. So one of them was definitely the Game Boy Micro, where back then I didn't really have the console and I relied on just random Wikipedia articles because information on it was scarce back then. So there's definitely some things that I got wrong. So now I actually have the handheld, so maybe one day I'll revisit the Game Boy Micro and give it the better justice.
Neato.
Wondering how are you able to see anything on it? It's so tiny.
Yeah, it really is tiny. It's like the size of a trading card or something. It's pretty small compared to like the SP and whatnot. But it's kind of just the neat novelty of it. The one that I got is the fancy Famicom 20th anniversary cover, so it looks just like a Famicom controller. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just for the novelty of it. There's not much to it. It's not backwards compatibility, so that's already one downside of the Micro. So it's either just get the Micro for your Nintendo collection or use it as a paperweight.
What games can you play on it? Just regular Game Boy games?
Yeah, only Game Boy Advance games. You can't play Game Boy or Game Boy Color games.
Oh, it's a Game Boy Advance. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the original Game Boy.
No, it's just it's a Game Boy Advance, but much, much smaller. It's not, I don't know if it's smaller than the Game Gear Mini, but I don't know, maybe a little bigger.
So it's recent then.
Oh no, it was years ago. This came out in 2005, and around that time, the Nintendo DS was already a thing. And then a year later, after the Micro's release, we got the Nintendo DS Lites. So yeah, the Micro was pretty much pushed to the background during the early days of the DS era.
All right, cool. But oh man, I still want a Micro Game Gear. Too bad they were never released outside of Japan, and they're very expensive, probably. Oh well.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we've been waited long enough. We're all filled with anticipation of Luke's epic little story. So, Master Luke, are you ready?
Yes, because I'm going to talk about my own synopsis, my own tale of Sonic X Episode 61. For it is a dark tale, a tale of war, deception, and revenge. Is everyone sitting comfortably?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay. The episode did start out with a recap, but as you already know what happened in the last episode, we will skip it. So I will now begin. It is the dawn of the 41st millennium. I mean the second millennium. The last remaining space fleet of the Potato People make their final stand against the Metarex to protect their base. But they are no match against the Metarex Hellship, an unstoppable vessel of hate made of indestructible metal. The Hellship showed no mercy as it annihilated the entire Potato Armada in the name of the God Emperor of the Metarex, leaving nothing but destroyed ships and corpses in the empty cold void of space. The Hellship received orders from the Emperor to destroy the heretics that is Sonic and Dr. Eggman. Meanwhile, Cosmo awake from a horrifying nightmare, and Cream talked to her about Shadow. Everyone wondered how Shadow came back and cheated death. Shadow wonders how they know his name, as he knows not his own identity. Whilst Eggman is doing bizarre hand gestures, his ship is approached by the dreaded Hellship. Eggman is able to withstand his attacks thanks to the ship's shields. Eggman sends out Shadow, a lone hedgehog, to take on the unstoppable behemoth. Although Shadow cannot penetrate its armor, he can bounce on it, creating reverberations that can destroy it from the inside. Eggman scolds his peons for their ignorance with bucket and a couple of mallets. The sentient Hellship screams in anguish as Shadow causes it immense pain. Shadow punches it in the face, which makes him fall unconscious and drifts into the vacuum of space, due to not having a limiter, but is carefully rescued. Eggman attacks the Hellship with full force, but no matter how many weapons he fires upon it, nothing can destroy it as it moves into destroying Eggman's ship. It would not leave the fat heretic and his crew alive. Rouge, knowing that this is a losing battle, retreats in order to fight another day, leaving Eggman to perish by a lone missile. The Hellship has vanquished one of the Emperor's foes. The Hedgehog is the next to suffer. After witnessing the destruction of Eggman's ship, Cosmo recognizes the Hellship as the one that destroyed her ship and massacred her people. Amy assures her that they will enact revenge and avenge her people. Tails suggests a tactical retreat, but it was too late. The Metarex Hellship has arrived. Even though Cosmo wants to retreat, Sonic desires to make a stand, to destroy it once and for all, and avenge Cosmo's people. It is a good day to die, after all. Like Eggman, Tails is able to withstand the Hellship's attacks with his shield, which he uses to cloak the ship. The Hellship saw this as an act of cowardice and continues to attack in a shrouded cloud of deception. The cloud is able to blind the Hellship's ability to locate them, even after firing everything the Hellship has at them. Tails jettisons a load of junk at the Hellship. This did not deceive the Hellship and continues firing. However, it did not know that Knuckles, Sonic, and Amy are hidden inside the junk, for it is a cunning double trap. In a brilliant move, Sonic, Knuckles, and Amy uses all the junk, including the kitchen sink, useless scratch cards, and a month's worth of used toilet paper, and clog up the missile launcher bays and cannons, so the Hellship cannot fire them. The Hellship would not stand for such humiliation, and prepares to launch its full wrath at them. But in its blind rage, it causes the cannons to blow up, injuring itself. Rejecting surrender, the Hellship prepares it to collide into the Blue Typhoon. Tails and Chris struggle to escape. Tails and Chris struggle to escape the hell ship crashing into them. It looks like they will all perish and die in the collision, including the innocent young Cream. As Tails is about to accept his fate, the hell ship is caught unawares of a surprise attack by Shadow. Shadow was not done with the hell ship and continues to reverberate on his armor. It seems that Eggman is also not dead, as the missile passed through his ship and faked an explosion to deceive the hell ship. Sonic decides to join forces with Shadow on destroying the hell ship. They obliterate its insides, giving the hell ship immense pain. Refusing to surrender and knowing that it is dying, the hell ship starts its self-destruct sequence. If it is going to die, it will take all of them down with it, for the glory of the Metarex Emperor. But Shadow has a plan. He uses the Red Chaos Emerald to use Chaos Control, and freezes the hell ship, denying its chance to destroy them. They have only 90 seconds to destroy it. As Eggman starts the countdown, Sonic uses the Master Drive to push the hell ship into a wormhole, where its explosion will not harm anyone. The hell ship is no more. It has failed its God Emperor. Victory this day belongs to Sonic and his friends, as well as Eggman and his cohorts, as they make their separate ways. Even though she has avenged her people, Cosmo wondered why it did not give her joy. Was it a hollow victory, as her people are still dead? Was the destruction of the hellship enough? No. As long as the Metarex Emperor still lives and breathes, she will continue to seek vengeance for her people. And soon, she will have her revenge.
Well done! Applause!
Hey.
Thank you.
If I ever do a Warcraft 2 parody or something.
Warhammer!
Or Warhammer, yeah, you should be the next.
There you go.
Yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from the intro cutscenes from like various Warhammer games like Dark Tide, and maybe a bit of Tony J when he was narrating the story of Captain Flint in Treasure Planet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Good old Tony J.
Yeah, rest in peace. Man, I was lazy today, so I just grabbed the screenshots from Team Artail's website. They only have shots of the main characters, never of the robots and ships. So sorry if the screenshots are a bit
At some
awkward.
point, I was planning to refer to Sonic as Primarch Sonic of the 1991st Legion.
Nice. Warhammer reference? Or what?
Yeah, Warhammer 40k reference.
All right.
They're all it's very bombastic with their British references.
Of course. Yeah, is Warhammer British? I didn't know that.
I believe it is. Yeah, it's by Games Workshop, one of its biggest properties in tabletop gaming.
I shouldn't have been surprised for that. It kind of has a Judge Dredd feel to it, I think. Just way more lore heavy, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, in that it's like a very terrifying future, also with constant war against the forces of chaos, and apparently their method of space travel is traveling through dimensional hell portals, which take them centuries to get through, and apparently it could drive you mad.
Yeah, as if the characters weren't sane enough in that series. But yeah, let's not go into Warhammer, otherwise we'll be busy talking for hours. Because every single time someone tries to explain it to me,
Yeah, there's like way too much lore in Warhammer. Like
I'm gonna
about
get like a wall of text to explain everything. Yeah.
like this is the story of the God Emperor of mankind. Blah 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 blah. It takes like ages to read.
Pretty much, yeah. Anyway, we just got a question in the chat about what name my YouTube channel is or how you pronounce it. To be honest, I didn't pick it how it's pronounced. It's just my name mirrored thrice, but it's called Roger, I guess, or something. But yeah, unrelated. Back to Sonic X. Yeah, Melting Man, what do you think of this episode?
I thought it was fine. It was mostly just, continuing up with, Shadow, how is he back from the dead, yada yada. And then we see the spaceship going in. It's kind of funny, like that whole random fleet, we don't really quite know what it is, but judging from their ship, I imagine they're just like random potato people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Metarex destroyed the army of Mr. Potato Heads. No!
I think they're supposed to be asteroids, but yeah, the potatoes is funny.
Yeah, they look like freaking potatoes. Yeah.
I wasn't wondering if I should call them potato peoples because I don't want to cause confusion with the Sontarans.
Sontaha!
Sala, you have any thoughts on this episode?
I do, yeah. So, my cat is being annoying. Sorry if you can hear.
No.
So there's some interesting changes between the original and the Japanese, or the original Japanese and the English dub. For one thing, like some cut moments briefly. There's also for some reason they like censored Chris flinching when they were hiding from the hell ship. I don't know why they did that. But weirdly enough, the one thing they didn't censor was all of the potato people dying at the beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I guess because we never see their face and nobody cares. Game shows always have weird rules about that. Like, death is fine just as long as it's not human and you don't see their faces. And if you do that, then you can just kill endless enemies. It's fine. Just people.
Yeah. But they did also change. They did also change the name of the hell ship to the Scar ship, which I thought. I think that's kind of a clever name, but
I think that's what it's called in Japan too.
No, it's called the hell ship.
Yeah, in Japan it's called the Hell Ship. In the English dub they changed it to something else because, oh, hell, that's a naughty word. We can't do that.
Yeah, so they call it the Scar ship.
Yeah. I thought it was
which,
all right.
Yeah, I think that's a clever name.
Yeah, it is.
Pun on starship.
Yeah.
But it's still got a scary word in it.
Yeah, in fact, we don't even see the pilot of that ship. We only just see it, so maybe the Metarex itself is just this giant spaceship.
I thought it was meant to imply that the whole ship itself is sentient.
Yeah, that's what I got. Because so far they don't do a really good job of showing the Metarex what they really are. They always just are.
Because when Shadow attacks it, it screams.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess it is just a sentient ship. But well, I guess maybe it's explained later.
Yeah, there is an explanation on what the Metarex are, but not till later.
And not specifically for Scarship, I guess.
So, there's like this funny moment where like they are tracking the hell ship coming towards them, and they have to make a decision on whether they confront it now or retreat and formulate a plan and come back later. And like Amy is very gung ho on like we should fight it now. We should attack it right now. And like even Knuckles is being hesitant. He's like, no, we need to come up with a plan. But the second that Sonic says, "Hey, may as well," everyone's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, that really took me off guard. Like in both versions, Amy's like really like, "Oh, come on, Cosmo, let's burn this asshole or whatnot." So it's kind of weird. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
It's nice. I think it's the first time in the Japanese version that Amy's passionate about anything other than Sonic. So that's nice for once. But I love the scene. Like it's this whole discussion scene, almost like Star Trek. Like, oh, let's discuss our best course of action. Yet it's super basic and simplistic. Let's attack. No, let's not. Oh, let's attack. No, let's not. Let's attack. Okay. It's like, wow, that was an in-depth conversation. Really explored all the possibilities. I think Tills is the only one who had a plan. Like, okay, let's fall back so we can make a strategy. It's like, no, let's attack because why not? Like, okay, well, great counter argument. Let's go. And then in the end, Till still had a strategy. So whatever. I love it when they try to be smart.
I think one bit I did find a bit funny. I think there was like a montage of the crew, and I think there was one shot of Chris where he looks like he was incredibly tired.
Oh, I don't recall.
Oh yeah, that's like in the opening where it's kind of weird. It looks like everyone's asleep, but then you hear their thoughts. So like, oh, okay, they're thinking.
I think it was much later. I think I can't remember exactly where. It was like you see still image of the crew members. You see an image of Chris, and it looks like he's so worn out.
No, I think that was in the beginning.
It definitely happened in the beginning, and I agree. I was also confused. I thought they were sleeping instead of thinking. But yeah, I don't know. Is Chris asleep later on? I'm looking through the screenshots, but yeah, I don't recall. Guess it wasn't dramatic enough for me to remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke.
There was also another weird bit of unnecessary censorship, and that's the part where like Eggman's talking about how Shadow has forgotten his identity. And for some reason, like, he does this, like, weird little dance, and they took the dance out in the English dub.
Oh yeah, with him like flailing his hands around like ho 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 ho, that bit.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. No, it's kind of weird. I feel like in the English dub, they kind of changed the lines up a bit, where like, Deku and Boku are trying to refresh Shadow's memory, and Robotnik's like, hey, don't, that's not important, who cares about your past, that kind of thing.
Implying that Eggman is the cause he lost his memory, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, because to a degree, this is like an adaptation of Shadow's game, with the aliens and Shadow losing his memory. But unlike the game, here they actually talk about his stuff and actually start refreshing his memory of the events of Sonic Adventure 2, which always bothered me in the Shadow game. They never did that.
Yeah,
There's no conversation with Shadow there at all. So like, whatever.
In some ways, it kind of reminds me of that one scene from Sonic Heroes and Team Dark story where, in the casino one, where Shadow's like, Doctor, what do you know about my memory? Memory? What memory? You have no past, Shadow! That kind of bit.
Eggman. But yeah, pretty good episode, generally speaking. I was kind of surprised because they did, yet again, a weird fourth wall breaking joke, which felt out of place in this very serious episode. Because when Shadow stops time, you have like Eggman and robots like counting down. I mean, it's not technically breaking the fourth wall, but it kind of felt in the same vein of the weird jokes in the older episodes. Like, they're just kind of cheering and go, yay, 40, 39, 38. Count along, kids. We teach you how to count. Yay. Almost like a Sesame Street moment.
I never really got that fourth wall joke bit. I just kind of assumed, like, oh, we helped out. You did absolutely nothing. Well, screw you.
Yeah, it's an adorable moment. It's not bad or anything. I just found it a little out of place because it felt like more of the earlier slapstick episodes, even though the rest of the episode is pretty serious.
Yeah.
Talking about the bloodthirst of Cosmo, who wants vengeance.
Oh, it's also kind of weird that like Rouge decided to like leave the spaceship, like, oh, Robotnik blew it up, and then tells it to the gang. It's kind of weird because like, oh, the shields are up and everything, and Rouge doesn't do anything. And when they're about to supposedly die, Rouge is all like, screw you guys, I'm killing him. And just flies away. And then near the end of the episode, she quickly flies back.
It's kind of pointless. I guess she just escaped so the Sonic can get exposition while still keeping the mystery if Eggman and Shadow are dead, like we thought it was happening.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Speaking of exposition, there's like the part early on where like Cream is telling Cosmo about Shadow, and I didn't. So when I watch these, I watch the Japanese and English version at the same time, but with the Japanese version muted. So I don't know how this sounded in Japanese, but based on just the English audio, I don't think Cream should be allowed to give that much exposition.
It's pretty much the same in the Japanese version. Like, oh, Shadow was created by Gerald Robotnik, blah blah blah, help Robotnik. Then in the end, he helped the gang, and then, yeah. Although I think in the Japanese version they kind of do explicitly say like, oh yeah, he died and blah blah blah. But in the English stuff they toned it down because like, oh, death, we can't have that. But yeah, it is really strange that Cream would have like that much exposition. Like, I imagine at least Amy or Knuckles would be involved because they were the ones that had more involvement in the plot of Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah,
I guess they just wanted to give Cream something to do. Knuckles and Amy get the cool moment in space, so Cream gets to do the talking. Even though everyone hates her voice in the English version.
Yeah, poor Cream. I guess that's why we never see her in the games anymore, because they just can't find a good voice for her.
It's not easy, no. Yeah, what else can we talk about?
Honestly, there's not much to say in this episode. It's kind of like, oh, giant ship comes by, and then they attack it, and that's it. And aside from, like, the bits that Salah pointed out, like, yeah, honestly, there's not too many major differences between the English and Japanese version, which is surprising.
Pretty straightforward episode, yeah, just a space battle, I guess.
There was something I found a little weird, though, is that, like, in their plan to take down the Hell Ship, they cloaked themselves and then jettisoned a bunch of like debris in an attempt to convince it that like he had blown them up. But like there was so much that they were able to plug up the barrel of every single weapon on the hell ship.
To be fair, we did see how much crap the Chris' parents sent him to, so guess it's all Chris.
Even that wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot, but not that much. I feel like they just took everything out of the ship, all their supplies and food and everything, and just shoved it in there. They're like, oh, it's like, yay, we saved the day. Like, shit, now what are we going to do for food?
Maybe in between episodes, Chris parents sent even more stuff, and the Chaotix have been
There we go.
back and forth with more crap.
Yeah, there's like a built-in teleporter in the Blue Typhoon where Chris's parents just dump all their stuff into the storage room.
Chris probably needs another desk and another computer and another television. Sorry, what was that, Luke?
I was saying there must have been a lot of like used toilet paper.
And that too,
yeah, that's even better. Like, oh yeah, that's even better. Like all that stuff they cramming in there. Yeah, that's actually like actual garbage. Like, yeah, used toilet paper and crab apples and everything. Yeah, Chris's parents are too lazy to take out the trash. Like, oh, we'll just dump it into Sonic's world. They'll take care of it.
We finally found a way to stop all the trash on planet Earth. Just dump it to a different dimension. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, I did like the one bit with yeah, Shadow's attacking the spaceship, and Deco and Boko are like, "Oh, what's happening there?" And Robotnik's like, "Allow me to demonstrate," and then he puts 2 buckets on them and starts bashing them with mallets, and then explains like what's going on. It's like, "Oh, he's creating giant vibrations so that it'll like explode on itself," but of course that doesn't really happen. Still, just comedy with Robotnik and his henchmen.
It is kind of a neat way to explain what Shadow is doing, yeah, to make the more abstract stuff, give it some grounding, yeah. That was a cute moment. I liked it, yeah.
Now, if only the same could be said for Orbot and Cubot. So I still pretty much like Deco and Boko over the other 2.
Yeah. Deco and Boko are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the bit when they were explaining what happened to Shadow. They just slide along on their chairs.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, it took place in the human world, and it was in the space colony Ark.
Okay, so apparently this was a screenshot with tired Chris.
Yeah, that was the image I thought about. Tails looks incredibly knackered.
Oh yeah, I think that's happened in the ending where like, oh, everyone's just like chilling down. It's like, we saved the day.
And Chris is like, "Oh my god, please, can I go to bed now?"
Alright, I'm heading out.
Into space.
Yeah, that's how I felt all week.
So something I've kind of realized is, like, as we've been covering Sonic X, I have said on many occasions that one of the reasons I love Deco and Boko is because they're competent. And, like, that hasn't really been shown yet. I just kind of realized they're kind of still goofy up until a certain point. I just realized that when I think of Deco and Boko, I think of them at the latter half of this season. So, anyone like Roger who hasn't seen those are in for a nice surprise later on.
Okay, looking forward to that. Sure.
Yeah, because I think we're about halfway through season 3, I think.
I mean, so far they haven't bothered me, even though they're not like super useful or anything. But at least they're not like Orbit and Cubot, where they are worse than useless. They're actually like sabotaging Eggman or insulting him. At least they are subservient and I guess is doing their job on the cockpit, even though they don't get any cool moments. So.
Yeah, Deco and Boko are great. I think them and Agent Stone are probably Eggman's best sidekicks ever.
Sure.
Well, mostly, mainly in the Sonic movie too, because in the first one he does absolutely nothing.
Yes.
What do you mean? He makes delicious coffee.
That's it. That was all he did.
Damn role in the first
It's very
film.
important.
Just, I make coffee.
Robotnik can't do his job without his coffee.
Oh man, I bet that must have created some weird, crazy contradictions. Because I think in the novelization of the first film, it's Agent Stone that shows up at the end and gives them the Olive Garden gift card and everything. And then the second film, like, oh nope, I'm still the bad guy. So like, what the hell?
Guess they went from an earlier script in the novelization, and then the movie too just kind of went with fan theories, I guess.
Well, I am
Yeah,
hoping for in the third movie that Robotnik makes like his own versions of maybe Orbot and Cubot.
Who knows? Who knows what they'll do with movie 3? I have no idea.
I also had this idea that if, on the off chance that Jim Carrey won't come back, but I think he will, I think Stone becomes so obsessed with Eggman that Robotnik, that he tries to emulate his mentor, like he might shave his head and grow his moustache out.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Agent Stone being the successor to Robotnik in the movie Sonic universe.
That would actually be pretty interesting. That, like, because Jim Carrey's trying to retire, so, like, he might not even do the third movie, is they've set it up so that Agent Stone can just replace him.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
They showed in the second movie he can actually be just as good. Like,
yeah, it's like
he's obviously not.
Sorry, you continue.
Okay, yeah, he's obviously not like as super intelligent as Eggman, but like he doesn't really need to be when Eggman's plan is so far ahead.
I was saying it might be similar to that of Scott Evil at the end of the third Austin Powers movie, where he actually embraces his father, like shaves his head, and then at the end he tries to be like the next big villain.
Sure, could be.
Right.
They definitely could. Yeah, I'm really curious what they're going to do with Jim Carrey. Maybe he just makes a cameo in the next movie, and then indeed they move on to Agent Stone. I don't think most people will mind. But of course, movie 3 is still far away. I guess at first we have the Mario movie. What do you...
And then Mario movie, and hopefully some more news on that Knuckles spin-off series.
Yeah, that's coming too. Still haven't heard anything about that. What do you guys think of the Mario movie? At first I kind of liked it, but now I'm getting kind of tired of how many references they make. Now I'm just worried it's just reference like gallery all the time. Like, look, it's Mario Kart. Look, it's the Mario show. Look, it's the Mario this. Like,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping they're going to do more with Luigi. Like, they're not going to have him like being captured or forever throughout the entire thing. Like, at some point he's going to escape, and maybe hopefully we'll get to see maybe a cameo of Wario as well.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Luigi get a lot of screen time. He's very popular. They know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just recently, I saw a new, recent trailer where they showed off a little bit of what happened to Luigi after being separated by Mario. So we get little scenes of him running from the dry bones, and there's one where he accidentally, like, knocks one of them out, and he's like, "Ha, you've just been a Luigi!" And then it just comes back to life, and he's like, "Ah!" So at least there's a little bit of that, but other than that, I'm looking forward to the Mario film.
Yeah, I also like... Sorry.
Yeah, it'll be a nice way to relieve some stress after dealing with tax day.
I guess so. Yes, Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm quite like how they've got this very morbid Luma in there who's like looking forward to die. I think like, maybe imagine like Luigi teaming up with it.
Yeah, who knows? Possibilities are endless. Am I the only one who's kind of bothered that Peach is like tough girl? I wish they kind of played up her being a bimbo kidnapped girl all the time. I mean, I know modern movies always need like girl power, but then just use Princess Daisy or Paulina or someone who's more competent. Like keep Princess Peach as a funny bimbo. But now they make her tough girl, so yeah.
Well, I've seen some people having some like expressing a worry or whatnot that Peach is just going to be a generic badass girl in the Mario movie. So you're not alone on that.
Yeah, like I've seen people say like, if Peach is this badass, why do they need Mario?
That's a very good question, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine like by the end she's going to get herself captured, and then Mario and Luigi have to team up as well as Donkey Kong to rescue her.
Something tells me Peach is not going to need any rescuing, which is a shame because they're parodying every trope. So again, you'd think they should go like to level 10 with Peach being a bimbo being kidnapped all the time, but I guess they're going the other way.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, I definitely share your concerns, Roger, because as much as I am looking forward to this movie, and as much as the trailers look great, that's kind of what Illumination Studios does. Is they make trailers and then like sell a movie from them.
Yeah, and then they promoted it at IHOP.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they always... Yeah, whenever an Illumination movie's coming up, they always have to have a freaking cross-promotion with IHOP.
Oh well. Man, the colors are amazing. I absolutely love the color palette of this movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
I guess that's just me being an artist.
Yeah. And hopefully Bowser is more of a straight-on villain, because, Bowser being Bowser, because with all the recent Disney films, I am getting sick and tired of the whole trend that they've been stuck with, like, oh, it's a villain, but reform, he has reason, that kind of thing. Like, the whole twist villain fetish they had back then, that was getting annoying, but now with this, it's like, oh, it's a villain, but it's like, oh, I'm not really the bad guy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what happened to the old days when a villain was fun being a villain? At least we have Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That one was good.
Yeah, exactly. That movie was spectacular. Also, Blue Spikes in the comments saying Mario has Luigi's personality, Luigi has Peach's, and Peach has Mario's.
But the personality mixed up.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Well, then what about Toad? Whose personality has he stolen?
Nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's not. Well, at least it's actually Toad kind of doing his thing. Like one of the trailers, they actually played a little jingle of the Captain Toad theme when he showed up for the first time. It's like, oh, that's pretty neat.
I've also noticed that Chris Pratt seems to put a little bit more effort into his voice, because he seems to be putting a little more effort into doing his wahoos. Because I think I saw a second version of him in his cart doing the wahoo thing, and it's a lot more better.
Maybe he's getting called back to the studio. Who knows?
Yeah, the second trailer when he's like on that go-kart and going wahoo. Yeah, there's a lot more enthusiasm in his voice when he's doing that in the second trailer.
Funny enough, if that is if he did actually go to re-record, that'd be funny that the Sonic movie, people had trouble with the look, and so they redid it. The Mario movie, they had trouble with the sound, so they redid it.
I would say at least sound is cheaper, but I don't know if a Hollywood actor or animation is more expensive.
Well, I know. With Illumination Studio, their animation has always kind of been cheap with most of their movies.
Really?
But like a lot of them. Yeah. well, not in this one. Like all of their past films that they've done, like Despicable Me and Life of Pets, that kind of thing. Here it's a little more upgraded.
I thought it would look great, but maybe this is me. I don't know. Then again, I haven't seen Despicable Me 3, or the Minion movies. I only saw the first two.
Yeah, I've only seen the first two and the Minions one. I haven't seen the sequel or the third one.
Fair enough. Even though Trey Parker was in it, I was kind of surprised. Like one of the South Park guys showing up in a PG-rated thing. There's a surprise.
Well, then again, we have Chris Pratt as Donkey Kong, the same guy who was also in that Sausage Party movie.
Seth
Rogen,
you mean?
Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen. Whoop, sorry. Don't know why I confused the two. Maybe it was just the sound of the voice.
That's why I said that, if the Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie waited a year to come out, Donkey Kong would have cameoed in it, because there was the Seth Rogen part right at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they already had plenty of stuff in it. Like Sonic, yay! But right, shall we move on to the April Fool's manga that Melting Man provided us?
To the Sonic Dash and Spin story, as it's been a while.
Yes,
I did
Sonic Dash. Yeah, what's
yeah.
it?
Well, I did suggest another comic that was actually a St. Patrick's Day themed Sonic X comic, since that was yesterday, but I guess that didn't go through, so we're just doing the April Fool's one since that holiday's coming up. And
guess St. Patrick's Day for next year, yeah. But yeah, even though technically we have a stream on April Fool's Day, but I'll probably just do requests or something. I'm probably not going to do anything, because I'm going to be very busy with making my April Fool's videos. So that's why we're doing our April Fool video today. Or the manga.
Well, just say we're just prepping up for our big April Fool's stream.
I guess so, yes. But yeah, so Melting Man provided us with another one of those rare Sonic mangas.
Yep, this time this is one of the few stories that hadn't gotten translated, so I had the help of Pocket Oni to help translate this one, who's been on the stream years ago.
Yeah, poor guy. Alrighty, so guess we go into that one. Anyone wants to do a synopsis?
Yeah, I'll do a synopsis.
Alrighty then.
Alright, so starts out with like a typical day for Amy. He's like, oh, she's shopping, da 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 da. It's like, oh, there's Sonic, and Sonic's like, oh, why don't you come with me, Amy? And then something tragic happens, and then everyone's pissed off, like, oh, Sonic, how could you do such a thing? And Sonic's like, oh, what are you talking about? That's not me. And then he realizes that today's April Fool's. Like, oh, okay, I get it. You guys are fooling me. And then Knuckles comes in. It's like, hey, why are you spying me while I'm bathing naked? It's like, what are you talking about? So he tries to play along with it. It's like, oh, you're right, guys. It was all me. I'm sorry. I was way out of line. And then, and then suddenly in comes Eggman dressed up as Sonic. It was like, oh, hi, guys. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. So there's just big fight between him and Sonic over like, oh, which one's the real Sonic? So Tails and the others are like, okay, so if we want to know who the real Sonic is, you have to prove it. So, well, first you have to be fast enough to bring like something from the desert that's far away. So they do that. Sonic brings back a cobra. Robot just brings sand, but apparently that's not enough. So Tails like, okay, we have to see who is the greatest singer. That's who the real Sonic is. So they do that, and it's like, oh, well, no, that's not it. We meant dancing. Which one's the best dancer? So they do this, that, and try to do this dancing competition. So at one point, they get a bit tired from all the stuff going on, and Amy's like, oh, I guess this must be Eggman, and points to this random sea lion, which the real Eggman is real pissed off. It's like, great, that looks nothing like me. It's like, aha, you're the fake Sonic. And then Sonic just boots him out. But then it turns out everyone knew that Sonic was the real Sonic all along. They were just fucking around with those two. And that's how the story ends.
I love it. It's always a bit of a hit and miss with these mangas. Sometimes it's just too random and weird for their own good. But this one is perfect. Because it's just everyone kind of trolling each other. A lot of kind of weird humor, I guess. Like Knuckles being angry that we saw him naked. Even though he's always naked. I guess for the food fetishes, I guess. You saw me without my shoes on. Ah.
Or maybe it's like with Sandy Cheeks, where it's like, oh, the fur. Nope, that's actually a suit. So apparently Knuckles just takes the suit off, and it's just like shaved off.
That's a possibility too, I guess. Yeah.
Shaved Knuckles, and that's the origin story of Hyper Knuckles. He was naked the whole time.
But it's such a wonderful little sitcom scenario. Like, oh, it's April Fool's. If you get angry or upset about the joke, then you lose. So I have to play along. So then he gets into all these crazy scenarios, and he just has to play along because he can't lose face.
Oh, there's an image of Eggman looking up Amy's skirt.
Yeah. Like, oh, boy.
And then in the next panel is just Sonic kicking him in the head with the word Baka written across him.
Yeah. And then when it cuts back to him, his like nose is bleeding. It's like, oh geez, you must have put like iron in those shoes there, Sonic.
Kind of interesting. It's Sonic who gets upset about it, not Amy herself. Guess this manga is shipping them.
Well, the thing is, in these comics, Eggman has done a lot worse with Amy, because there's one where he's dressed up as a dog and he mistakes Amy for a lamppost, and well,
Oh, God.
Yeah, we don't know what exactly Eggman was doing in the first story, so yeah, let's leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also don't know what he's doing with Amy. So let your imagination run wild. Oh boy.
I like how when they told them to do, when Tails told them to do a dance competition, or no, it was Amy who said that, Sonic naturally went for a break dance, and Eggman decided to go with a Dojo Sakoi.
Yeah, traditional Japanese thing, yeah.
It's I had to look up what that is, because like I've seen that referenced in other things. Apparently it's like a dance where you mimic scooping up loaches from a river, and apparently it's hilarious.
Okay.
I've seen footage of it, and like the crowd is going nuts.
I guess they're just really easily amused over scooping up whatever it is. Yeah.
I want to see that on Strictly at one point, one day.
Yeah, you know, I think someone should actually animate that. Yeah, Robotnik doing that actual dance in like Source Filmmaker or whatever.
Yeah,
Make it
it's a
happen.
challenge to me. As Sonic did break dancing is cool. I want to see him do that more in video games and cartoons. It's cool.
And then before
Well,
the whole...
Sonic does kind of break dance in the game as well. Like if you get a really cool rank, and he kind of does a bit of a break dance thing.
That's true. He does it occasionally.
Oh yeah, some of them.
Especially when he does it with fighting moves. That's great. Like a Lego Dimensions even kind of gave him more like breakdancey fighting moves. That's pretty awesome. A Sonic Battle, of course. Makes you want to see like an actual Sonic fighting game where that's Alan Planet. I mean, Yakuza had that, or Majima. I think he was breakdancing as a fighting style in one game. That was pretty awesome. But going off topic, yes. Yeah, that was a pretty awesome manga.
I could also add that Eggman in a Sonic costume kind of reminds me of that animation Sonic Man of the Year, where Robotnik disguises himself as Sonic and screws around with people.
Good point. It does feel like a spiritual successor. Yeah, my wife has to tell us that this also happened in One Piece, the Dojo Sukoi dance move. So there you go.
I saw that somewhere. Yeah.
Sticks in the nose. Okay, part of it,
chopsticks in the nose and carrying a net. Yeah. But yeah, it does kind of feel like a sequel to Hero of the Year, because at least this time, this one actually has an ending rather than leaving it at a cliffhanger.
Sure, let's just see it as an unofficial sequel. Why not? Even though
I do find it funny that like one of the things like, oh, you gotta sing. That's how the real Sonic is, and so they do both of them sing, and then they all just fall asleep. So apparently, Sonic's not a good singer.
It says they fainted, so I guess they're just all like knocked out by their horrible singing. Poor guys.
Yeah, I guess so. And then there's like, when the whole like, oh, bring back something from the desert, and then the song just brings back a freaking cobra. And it's more hilarious because he has this big derpy face on it, like, hey, I brought back a cobra. Totally not dangerous at all.
I wonder if Eggman just cheated and just grabbed random sands.
I take it.
That's the joke.
Yeah, that's the joke. He just brought back random sand from like somewhere, and they start out like, "Yeah, where'd you get the sand? Yeah, well, where'd you get the cobra?"
I love Knuckles' face expression in it too. You rarely see him so happy. Like, oh, April Fool's the best. With his derpy smile on his face.
There's the Knuckles and Tails and the others. Yeah, they're pretty expressive.
Oh, that's his
of course, this is also. Of course, this is like one of the few times where we actually see Robotnik's eyes, which is kind of like the dots and everything, because you don't really see the glasses covering up his eyes.
No,
like you
normally
do.
Yeah, I guess not much to say. It's a funny manga. I recommend
it's a hilarious story that is surprisingly themed after April Fools, which is kind of surprising. I didn't think they'd actually have that over in Japan.
That's a very good question, yeah.
I didn't think so either, but then again, like, they do have quite a few American holidays. Like, I mean, I guess Christmas isn't an American holiday, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I do know they have their own Christmas theme, but yeah. I think it's Christmas, Halloween, and I don't know, maybe Easter, but I think that's it.
Yeah, Christmas where they eat Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh yes, because over in Japan, having like McDonald's and KFC and whatnot, that's kind of like more considered like higher class up over there.
Well, the reason they have that at Christmas is because the CEO of KFC Japan convinced people that Americans eat fried chicken for Christmas.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So basically, KFC is basically like a Japanese Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like turkey, I guess. We get
turkey, they get deep fried chicken.
Yeah, someone in the comments mentioned that Hero of the Year was animated by the same guy who did same studio that did Animaniacs. Probably, yes. Yeah. I mean, the humans definitely look familiar, exactly in that style. So, probably. Except with the CGI background, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, I love the animation; very smooth. It was a fun surprise when I run into that on my Sega Saturn. Never saw that cartoon before, and now everyone knows about it.
It's all over on the internet, because back then it's like, oh, we gotta have Sonic Jam to check out the cartoon, but now you view it on YouTube, and that's it.
Good times, good times. Yeah. I think we're done then. That's a short stream. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We'll just finish.
It's been a while since we've had one that's close to an hour long. Yeah.
Well, we only had 2 little things, so. But yeah, like I said, I'm a little busy and had a bad week, so I wasn't really in the mood for a lot of work today. Sorry for the laziness. Anyone else has something to mention? Something you want to talk about? Movie that's upcoming? Video game that's upcoming?
I mean, I guess there's a John Wick 3 or 4 coming out.
I'm still waiting for that D&D movie to come out because it looks interesting.
Oh yeah, the new one. Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah,
looks more
Jeremy
interesting
Irons
than the,
again?
I mean, it looks more interesting than the one that came out in the 2000s.
Did he have Jeremy Irons again?
No, it doesn't have him going.
Oh, that's a shame.
Or Tom Baker, sadly.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a Dungeons and Dragons film where like one of the villains had blue lips for no reason?
Yes, that was the same movie.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I have vague memories of like catching glimpses of it. I know Nostalgia Critic reviewed it years ago, but yeah.
Fair enough. I played Dungeons and Dragons sometimes, but I'm not really interested in the movie.
I remember the cartoon series as a kid.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw
Yeah, sorcerer, acrobat.
it. I don't remember.
I only remember 2 things from that Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. One is that they somehow ended up there from a roller coaster,
Yeah.
and 2, there was a wizard who tried to use a fire extinguisher that shot out whipped cream.
Yes, I think it's the green nerdy wizard because he has like a magic hat that's they're meant to do spells or something, but they always go wrong.
Yeah, going there from a roller coaster. Now I'm just visualizing like, the adventures are like taking place in this dream, and in real life they all died in a horrible roller coaster accident.
And also,
Possibly, the show never ended.
running this roller coaster, like, did it only happen for them, or did other people that go on the roller coaster end up in this?
That's a good question.
terrifying
There's like thousands of people there now.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, they go to a room with all of these dead bodies. Like, yep, there they are. All the poor victims that rode the roller coaster.
Well, yeah, I don't think the show ever had an ending, so maybe they are dead and they are stuck in
No, it got
purgatory there.
cancelled, sadly.
That explains why they can never escape. The only thing I remember from that show that kind of impressed me was how magic works. Like, if you magic water somewhere, you actually drain a lake somewhere else. So it always, like, what you create is something you take away somewhere else. I thought it was, like, a neat idea. But that's the only thing I remember. I didn't really like the show that much.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed Rhino brought up the new Tails tubes. Like, oh yeah, the new Tails tube that came out, because apparently they're still making those now.
Yeah, now with Amy as a guest. I saw it, yep.
Yeah, it was, Tails and Amy answering things related to Sonic. Surprisingly, they did one focusing on the whole deal with modern and classic Sonic, and they seem to have gone back to re-retconning the events of generations. Like, oh yeah, classic Sonic, Sonic's from the past, yada yada yada. So they're really going back to that, and it just only makes you wonder what the hell Sega was smoking on when they decided to establish the whole classic Sonic retcon in Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
Very confusing. Yep,
God,
yep.
I was so freaking annoyed by that.
Yeah, because we all know that really drives me up the wall from Sonic Forces, yeah. Like, oh, you're that Sonic from another dimension, just like he always was.
Hey, but did you notice in that Tails tube he did mention dimensions all the time? Like, they mentioned, oh, it's a younger Sonic, but he very explicitly kept saying, oh, he went through a dimension portal back to his own time. Like, he kept hammering on the fact that it's a dimension portal. So I think that was their attempt to kind of merge the two elements. So, no, is this a Sonic from time? That just the time is different dimension or something?
Maybe, but
I
then
think
again...
they tried to
I think
marriage them together. So that's
Yeah,
what I got
but-
out of it, because they did mention dimension like 4 times in that segment.
well, then again, Classic Sonic went through a portal at the end of Generations, so maybe.
I guess so. But yeah, I like Tails Tube. It's always nice to get some confirmation on the lore. It's been very
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah, the whole VR YouTuber style thing they do. I remember when they first announced that, I was heavily against that because that was still in the whole like meta era. So I was expecting like, oh, it's just Sonic in the game. Like, oh, Sonic 06 sucks. I get it. But then I decided to give it a fair chance. It's like, oh, okay, this is a series that tries to reestablish the universe of the Sonic games, and it's not too self-aware as I thought it was gonna be.
And it has tons of new artwork for Cream, so you must be very happy.
Yay, Cream. Because if it's not IDW keeping her alive, then I guess it's Tails Tube.
Guess he's alive somewhere. Yeah.
I do find it kind of funny that, like, it's called Tails Tube, but in universe it's called the Sonic Scoop. Because, of course, even a show based around Tails has to be named after Sonic.
Yeah. Attention hogging bastard.
Oh yeah, then when Tails is talking about like, oh, there's like different dimensions with like different versions of ourselves, and we see like all these weird versions of Sonic, and one is obviously a bootleg Sonic Boom version, because I guess they can't be bothered to actually use the actual Sonic Boom version.
Oh, right. Yeah, I thought it was kind of like a mix between movie Sonic and Boom Sonic. Like, oh, Sonic with blue arms. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Then again, this is the first official media that I can think of where we actually see Sonic having blue hands with that, even if it's from a bootleg Sonic Boom clone.
Probably, yeah. I wonder if they're ever going to explain Styx in a Tails Tube episode.
I don't know, probably not. I feel like that was just more of just Ian Flynn, like seeing how much he could get away with in Sonic Frontiers. It's like, yeah, he mentions Styx the Badger, even though apparently it was removed in the Japanese version. But I don't know, I guess with all the characters I've heard, Styx was like the only one of the Boom characters that actually was developed by Sega. Everyone else was just made up by everyone else.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, like, oh, is Archie's Worlds Unite comic canon or something?
Oh yeah, I guess Styx was in that, yeah.
Oh well. Guess we shouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah. Wow, though, if we actually do see a physical appearance of Styx in the mainline modern Sonic games, then I just hope they just completely rewrite her character. You know, make her more Tarzan-like and not Crazy Cat Lady from The Simpsons, because that always annoyed me with a Boom version.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Right now we know absolutely nothing about Prime Styx.
Yeah, all we know is just people going batshit over her being referenced in Sonic Frontiers, even though everything in that game was just a Frontiers reference to random things.
Yeah, it's basically Sonic member berries.
Yeah, now all we need is just a scene of Sonic and Tails being all like, "Hey Tails, remember that time Roger Craig Smith trolled the fan base about leaving the Sonic franchise? That was some funny shit there."
Oh, it'll be really for role breaking.
Baby Spriggs, Baby Spriggs.
Yeah, although that's just more my cynical take on the whole, them constantly making references in Frontiers. I mean, sure, it's nice to see them reference stuff that hasn't been relevant in years, but ever since Sega's been on a shoestring budget on visuals since 2010, it's like, yeah, can we actually see any of that shit on screen for once? Or maybe it's just because I'm too grown up with the R2 Sonic, the Sonic comics, because, that was all on visuals and everything. So, I don't know, I guess the comics just spoiled me on visuals compared to the games.
Yes, speaking of Frontiers, I mean, it's almost April, and I'm wondering when we're going to get any of that new DLC soon.
Right, because, the second wave is supposed to be for Sonic's birthday.
Yeah, people have been bitching about it, like, oh, where's the first update? And I'm kind of like, the more interesting updates to Frontiers won't happen until, the end of the year, because, the first one's just, jukebox and additional challenges, so more smaller stuff.
Yeah, same here. I'm just waiting for the third update. That's where all the cool stuff happens. All the other updates, whatever.
Yeah, more playable characters!
And they're all clones of Sonic.
Well, this is more a fighting game, so I guess here it makes more sense to have Tails and Amy and Knuckles have their own moveset, but we'll see.
Hopefully. Yeah, it's like, hey, they actually remember that Amy has a hammer and not just using it as a freaking coat rack.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. But yeah, I sure hope we get a lot more content, because, I ranted enough about Sonic Frontiers feeling kind of empty to me. That's for another day. That's for another day. Anyway, guess we'll end the stream here. I guess we're done.
All right.
My wife wants to ask the chat if they enjoy us talking about Sonic X more than Sonic Fleetway.
Yeah, that is an interesting question.
Because usually on lazy days I pick one or the other, so I guess that's the big question. Like, if we're only gonna do one for a day for a stream, do you prefer us to do Sonic X or Sonic Fleetway? So yeah, let us know in the comments, I guess. Guess we should have asked earlier. It's now the video's already over, but...
Well, you can also ask people on Twitter with the voting poll thing.
I suppose so. I'm not sure how many people follow me on Twitter, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, on April Fool Day, I will have a lot of stuff, I hope, ready. I'm working on it, so see you then.
Yeah, whether or not me and Sally will hijack the stream like last time, I don't know. No promises.
You better not. Not more My Little Ponies.
Well, you know, we shall see.
Or maybe Luke will take over and start talking about Zelda or something. Or Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yes, he finally gets to have his Zelda Dissected episode, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, talk about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, also coming soon.
Yeah, or maybe, here's a better idea. Yeah, Luke finally gets to have his Zelda Dissected episode, but it's all focused on the CDI Zelda games.
No, on the Zelda cartoon.
Oh, yeah, the Zelda cartoon, yeah.
Excuse me, mister.
Yeah, you'd be all like, oh my god, this version of Link is like the greatest version.
There's one video on YouTube I love where they replace Link's voice with Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I love that one. It fits so great.
Yeah. I remember a friend of mine convinced me to watch the Zelda cartoon, so I just watched it all on YouTube. But yeah, it's like it's just kind of that thing back then with the cartoons based on video games and whatnot. I am surprised there's only 13 episodes compared to how long Super Mario Super Show lasted.
Yeah, only 1 out of 5 episodes was Zelda orientated. But yeah, show is over, everyone. So thank you all for joining me again, and see you all next time.
Yeah, goodbye.
Cheerio!
Oh, I guess Saul already left. All right, very well.
No, I'm here.
We're waiting for your dramatic goodbye, your dramatic farewell.
Are you sure about that?
I never had one.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, Sylvia, you want to say something?
Yeah, we didn't really confirm anything yet for April 1st, so is it really going to be a Zelda thing? A Zelda takeover, you could say? Or
Maybe. I was just spitballing ideas there.
It's supposed to be a secret. It's supposed to be a surprise for our viewers.
Well, the stream is already over. Then go. Wait, we're still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah, I think
You said goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Go check out Roger's Twitter.
We're leaving now!